Evening, everyone. We have just uploaded the results onto the NSE website. The BSE website is still, the results are still getting uploaded. So since the results are already on the NSE website, I think we can go ahead and discuss the same. The revenue from operations for the quarter ended 31st March are at 41.31 crores. The total income is at 47.98 crores. The PBT is at 8.7 crores and the PAT is at 8.32 crores. On the overall year front, as far as financial year ending 31/3/2018, the revenue from operations are at 387.75 crores. The total income was at 401.61 crores. The PBT was at 60.44 crores and the PAT was at 95.67 crores. Looking at the market conditions within the real estate sector in Mumbai, we have seen a downturn in the income of the company, also primarily due to the DP2034, which has just come into existence now in the last month. The company was not able to accrue income from its TDR sales, which form a good portion of our revenue. However, now subsequent to the DP2034, the BMC releasing the same, we have seen that the TDR income is starting again. We are hopeful that over this first quarter and the coming quarters, we should be able to see an uptick in demand in the TDR segment. The company is also trying to monetize a few land parcels to ensure that the debt is brought down. On the last year front, our debt, which was at, on a consolidated basis, the debt which was at 2,581 crores has been brought down to 2,445 crores. In the first quarter also, we have been able to reduce the debt quite substantially, the first quarter of this year. However, to add to it, the promoters have subscribed to the warrants and the promoters have made the payment to the company for the warrants and the same has been utilized by the company for repayment of its debt. On the overall front, the real estate scenario still is in a weak phase. We are seeing a bit of pressure from the PSU side. The public sector banks are still under pressure and thus there is an issue of credit availability in the market. However, the company and its promoters are trying to organize the funds from wherever they can to ensure that the projects do get completed. Certain projects have picked up. The TDR from a couple of projects has started accruing. And overall, we are pretty hopeful that this year of 18-19 will be a better year than the one that ended in March 2018. With that, I will open the floor to questions, if any.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Thank you. The first question is from the line of Lalit Thakkar from Angel Broking Limited. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I want to know that the company had announced some plan for fundraising. So can you give more clarity on it, whether it is equity or what exactly it is?
See, as a policy, so to speak, every year we take an enabling resolution from the board for raising funds through either equity or through FCCB route. We have not utilized that enabling resolution or that resolution to raise any funds. If in the future we do see an opportunity in capital markets to raise money through the qualified institutional placement route, we will definitely look at fundraising on that perspective.
Okay. My second question is that some 6 months back you have announced that you have shared that some land sale is you are trying to attempt of 500 crore for which you have received 50 crore. So what is the status of that deal?
I'm sorry, which transaction?
There was some transaction 6 months back, some 50 crore company has issued some advance for some land sale of 500 crores. See, basically what we understood is that the company is trying to bring down the debt from 2,500 crore to 1,500 crore. So at that point of time, you have shared this thing, some land sale of 500 crore.
The company, as the way the company works, is that we try to monetize assets and FSI and TDR, and the proceeds are utilized for debt reduction. We also, one of the segments is the residential segment where we sell flats. If we do have any sales occurring in the FSI or the TDR market, we do inform everybody about them. However, if certain transactions are in the pipeline, we would rather keep quiet on it right now and inform the exchanges directly on the closure of the transaction.
Yeah. Okay, so just last one question. It is heartening to hear that some debt has come down in this quarter also. So what kind of debt we can expect to come down in this one quarter?
I can't give a forward guidance on the quarter before the quarter ends, but the company is looking at monetizing a couple of assets for which it has received, approvals, and for which there are prospective buyers in place. We are hoping to close the transaction before this quarter ends and substantially bring down the debt.
Oh, thanks all. That's all from my side.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Asu Prakash Kundu, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, good evening, Karanji. In last conference, we discussed about some debt reduction and asset sale. What is update?
Mr. Kundu, we are currently looking at monetizing of assets. We are in talks with a couple of our clients for monetizing of 2 of our properties. Once we achieve closure on the same, we will inform the exchanges and the investors will be informed accordingly.
Sir, next question. What is the net asset value of our company?
Come again, please.
What is the net asset value of our company? It's 10,000 or crore.
The net worth of the company is 11,572 crores.
Sir, any new launch?
We are looking at launching a couple of residential projects in the next month or so. We are working towards organizing the funding for the construction for the same. This will probably be in the same segment of budget homes that we have done earlier for our Mulund property. So hopefully we should be able to give you another launch maybe in the next 20 days or so.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Sir, what is the update news about Planet HDIL?
Planet HDIL, our development in Virar, we are currently working on the plans for that, and along with it, we have interest from a couple of other developers for a joint development. We are looking at all possibilities for monetization of that land parcel. It forms a major chunk of our portfolio, and as such, looking at the demand which is coming in the affordable housing and specifically through the Prime Minister Awas Yojana, we are looking at starting that project also in the near future.
Sir, I have some question. Sir, what is current news about Privileged Power and Infrastructure?
PPIPL is a subsidiary of the company, and as such, the holdings of Virar and a couple of other projects are in that subsidiary. The company is currently, it's a subsidiary of the company, so there's no revenue currently in the company, and whatever revenue comes in is consolidated with the balance sheet of HDIL.
Sir, what is the issue of Andhra Bank 226 crore debit?
Sorry?
Andhra Bank.
Andhra has no exposure left with us. Andhra Bank had, taken us to NCLT over one outstanding of about 49 crores. That amount has since been paid. There's only an outstanding of about 5 crores, which will be paid in the next 7 days' time.
Sir, next IDBI Bank 40.33 crore.
The company has already taken a one-time settlement from IDBI Bank, and the company is paying its debt through the OTS.
And sir, Bank of India 250 crore.
Sir, if you're going to ask me all individual banks, I think it's better you come and speak to our CFO and take an update on the entire debt schedule with respect to the company.
No, sir. Or sir, update news about Guru Ashish Construction.
The Guru Ashish is in NCLT right now. It is under the IPC code. As of today, the board of the company rests with the resolution professional. We have approached NCLAT against the termination order of MHADA, the hearing for which is slated for tomorrow. Hopefully, we should get some sort of a respite from the NCLAT. On completion, successful hearing of the Guru Ashish issue, we should be able to either the company will get an approved resolution plan, or we are also looking at alternatives which will be discussed with the resolution professional in the near future.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Nitin Ranjit from Capstock. Please go ahead.
So thanks for taking my question, sir. My first question is regarding, as per the latest annual report, we have close to 750 crore rupees to pay off to the banks this year.
Right.
So, and about a year back, most of these banks had dragged us to NCLT, and you had done some sort of one-time settlement.
Right.
So my question is on whether the old repayment schedule still holds, or have they given you a new schedule?
Most of the banks today are utilizing NCLT to get money from any company which owes money to them. As of today, the banks that deal with HDIL are, giving us one-time settlements and are actually helping us come out of these issues. Most of the banks are amenable and have supported the company throughout the loan tenure. We have rescheduled some of the loans, we have restructured some of the loans, and as of such, certain individual banks put pressure by going to NCLT or trying to use the threat of NCLT. However, with one-time settlements, we have settled with most of the banks, and we are very hopeful that, in the near future, we will not have any other bank trying to take us to NCLT.
So, but that means we won't have to pay 750 crore rupees in this financial year.
Yeah, I cannot discuss the actual amount that the bank will close the OTS at, because every bank has its own policy for the one-time settlement. We are working with individual banks on every single one-time settlement, and as per schedule, we are repaying the banks. Some banks give us longer tenure, some banks give us shorter tenure, and the amount to be adjusted also is calculated as per bank's policy. So, while the figure of 750 might come as what was to be given to the banks over the year, the figure changes on the approval of the OTS.
Okay, sir. And this OTS can expand from the maximum period which they are extending to give us 6 months, right, sir?
Not necessarily. It depends from bank to bank. If certain banks do have a larger exposure, they do give us an extended timeline for repayment. Certain banks where the exposures are small, they do want to close the OTSs within 6 months' time. Generally, that's the principle.
So the next question is regarding this land sale which we had done at Santa Cruz, at which the corporate park project was actually planned. Right. So my first question is on whether we have received the consideration, and on whether the land we have sold is the entire land parcel, or whether there is more land in Santa Cruz to be sold.
No, the transaction which was done was for sale of FSI in their particular joint venture. The transaction amount has not been received as of yet. It is linked to certain approvals. Certain environment approvals are still pending in that project, and as such, on receipt of those approvals, we will receive the money from there.
So there is no more FSI to be sold in Santa Cruz. Is that what
no, we are trying to include a couple of other land parcels into that scheme, and if we are successful, we will have certain additional FSI coming, but as of now, whatever the balance FSI is, we have sold it.
Okay, sir. Okay, that means we do have more FSI to be sold in Santa Cruz itself.
We can get additional FSI there as well.
Okay. So recently Mumbai, as part of the Mumbai development plan, the FSI was increased to 3. So does that mean that the 2 million square feet of TDR which we hold becomes irrelevant, or we can dispose it off? Does that mean?
Sir, with the change in DP 2034, which has come in and which will become applicable post 8th of June, because right now it is in the objection suggestion period. There's a 1 month period where now DP 2034 will become active. We are looking at every individual project to project increase in FSI, which is also now certainly linked to road widths and other infrastructure, criteria. We cannot, as of today, judge the exact change that it will make to the total ongoing projects of the company or to the additional lands that the company has. Over a period of time, we will definitely come to know as to what changes are going to become applicable to us.
Okay, so my question was regarding the TDR which we hold. We do hold like 2 million square feet of TDR, right, sir?
Yeah. No, the TDR is fine. The TDR, see, what happens is the TDR is already being generated from Kurla. There is no change as far as FSI is concerned with respect to the 311 scheme of the SRA. So there will be no additional TDR which will be generated from Kurla based on this change into DB 2034. And also, since this is slum TDR, it is not linked to any major issues. Yes, we are still looking at the same value of monetization with respect to the TDR, even if there are major changes in DP 2034.
So, thing is, sir, I didn't get you. The thing is that we hold 2 million square feet of TDR in our inventory, right, sir?
Yes.
And this TDR, since FSI is increased to 3, there won't be any demand for the same. The other developers can simply build more FSI without buying our TDR, right, sir?
TDR forms an integral component with respect to the total FSI which will be utilized. 0.5 has to be brought in through TDR. Developers, although can have the option of increasing their premium by making premium payments to the government, the 0.5 of the TDR does not change.
Okay, sir. 0.5 of the TDR doesn't change. And the last question is regarding the asset monetization which the company has been doing. So, any update regarding the land sale in Kochi or say Hyderabad or Baroda?
We are currently working on that. We will update you as soon as we are able to close the transaction.
And last question, we do have like 6,000 acres of land in Bihar belt, right, sir?
It's 4,000, yes.
4,000, and apart from that, apart from Gatkapur land, do we have any other land within the island city of Mumbai which we can dispose of without any encumbrance?
Why don't I will upload the investor presentation on the website. You can download that, which gives a clear profile of the lands that the company has. Company does have enough land assets, and we are actively trying to monetize those land assets to reduce our debt. If there is an opportunity available, rest assured the company will, make full effort to ensure that the asset is monetized.
So that means we do have land within Mumbai to send office?
Yes, we do.
We do. Apart from the Bihar land?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone.
Operator, I think Mr. Kundu asked all the questions possible. I don't know if there are any other questions left.
Yes, sir, we have a few questions lined up. The next question is from the line of Suprakash Kundu, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, one more question. Actually, we know our property, HDIL property is in Delhi, some joint venture. What is update news about this property?
Currently, you're talking about the Delhi property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, that Delhi property is currently, we are working towards monetization of that as well. That company has since been desubsidized, and we are trying to see if there is any monetization that can happen. Although that company does owe HDIL money as of now, we are trying to get that money out from HC Infracity.
How much money, sir? The total value?
I think it's anywhere between 25 to 40 crore. We will come back to you with the final figures.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin Ranjit from Cap Stocks. Please go ahead.
So my question is, sorry for asking so many questions, but my first question is regarding this repayment schedule with J&K Bank. I think they had given you a one-time settlement, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. We are trying to monetize one asset for repayment of J&K Bank, and we are, almost on closure of that transaction. Hopefully, with that transaction closed, J&K Bank will get paid off in full. So it will not be a scheduled payment. It will be a one-time payment to the bank.
The entire amount of 275 rupees will be paid.
Well, you said the figure. I didn't.
Okay, so and this MADA issue, any clarity regarding that? Because they have retaken some land from us, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. Ranjit, MADA issue has been highlighted quite actively in the newspapers as well. We are currently in NCLAT, and the hearing on the MADA issue is slated for tomorrow. Hopefully, if we do get the order in our favor, the MADA issue will get sorted once and for all. So I think we can come back to you, or you will obviously come to know through the media with respect to the developments on the MADA issue.
Okay, sir, and they have retaken some 10 acres of land from us. So does that mean that there would be any impact on any write-backs to the P&L side in case a favorable order isn't passed in our favor?
No, basically in the account of the subsidiary, which is Guru Ashish Constructions, MADA had signed an agreement with Guru Ashish. Upon Guru Ashish's termination of the agreement, MADA has retaken possession of the lands that it had given to Guru Ashish for development. Some of the lands which have been taken back, the company has approached NCLAT against MADA's termination itself of the agreement. Since the company was in moratorium, MADA could not have terminated the agreement, for which we are in NCLAT. Hopefully tomorrow we will get some clarity, as the NCLAT has found a question of law whether during the moratorium any proceedings can take place against the company.
The last question is regarding this High Court order which has barred HDIL from selling its assets. And how does that play along with our asset monetization scheme which we are
Let me just clarify that the High Court has not barred HDIL or its promoters from selling any assets. It has clearly stated that HDIL, in its usual course of business, can monetize its assets. So there is no bar on HDIL from selling any of the assets unless a specific prospective buyer asks us to take concurrence from the High Court. There is no need for us to go to the High Court.
Okay, thanks, sir. Thanks for answering all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Lalit Thakkar from Angel Broking Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have just one more question now. What I am seeing is that the finance cost has come down significantly. If I look at the fourth quarter, it's just 75 crores. So if I analyze it, it's only 300 crores, whereas the earlier figure was 4,002, around 425 crores. So without any, since the debt has not changed, but the finance cost has come down, is that the rate of interest has dramatically come down for the company?
No. Primarily the interest rates, yes. What we have been able to do also is bring down the interest rates by restructuring a couple of our loans as well. Also, we have been making payments to the banks. However, the finance cost, which is reduced drastically, I think you should be a little happier about the company bringing its costs down rather than questioning that.
No, not questioning it. I'm appreciating it.
I do really appreciate the fact that you brought it up. We are working towards active debt reduction, and yes, the finance costs will keep coming down. We are looking at monetization and bringing down our debt further. So while this figure is at 300 for the year, we will definitely, give you a breakup if you would like of the finance costs. Also, one.
Yes.
Also, the other thing is that since the OTSs have been done, there is no interest provision also to be made.
Okay. Sir, now just one last question. You have been always been a little candid and mentioning that what kind of debt you are forcing for a company going forward. But this time I'm seeing that slightly reluctancy on that front. So if any number can be tentatively shared, it will be really helpful.
The reluctancy, we have gone through quite a turbulent time over the last 1 year. Our entire industry has. With no credit available from the banking sector. Also, the company has not gone to any other institution or NBFC to raise further capital. We have been through our own sources, internal accruals and monetization of asset, bringing the debt down. We are looking at a serious amount of debt coming down over the next 2 quarters. I think, closure of transactions is important as of now, and that's what we are concentrating on. If we are able to close the transactions as we envisage, you will see a bigger drop in debt over the next 2 quarters than you have seen in the entire year last year.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the answer. That's all from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of MS Arun from Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
What is the TDR inventory we have, sir?
We have close to about 1.5 million square feet of TDR.
So, what is the unsold inventory we have in the budget home segment?
Out of 243 flats, we have already sold about 222 flats. And 45 people have already taken possession of their flats.
So, what is the new launches you talked about, where it is coming?
We are looking at launching Budget Homes Phase 2 as well. We are also looking at another launch in one of the central suburbs where we will be looking at launching close to about 1 lakh square feet to initially test the market. And then our second phase of that same project will be about 4 lakh square feet after that. So we are looking at probably another 5 to 5.5 lakh square feet within the budget home segment over the next 2 quarters.
So what is the prospect for TDR additions going forward?
I think, the 2 factors which held the TDR back, one was primarily 2034, which there was no clarity upon. So developers and other purchasers were a little apprehensive of buying TDR. Also, the Bombay High Court embargo on any new construction has since been lifted by the Supreme Court in the last 3 months. So because of that, with new constructions now starting again, we are seeing an uptick in TDR demand. It's just started, and with clarity now coming on 2034, I'm envisaging that over the next 6 months' time, we should have a good uptick in TDR sales.
What is the rate, you have got any inquiry, what is the rate, the TDR rates going on
right now? I don't want to give such figures because then the estimates start building up on the entire inventory. But I think, we can safely state that anywhere between 4 and 4,500 rupees a square foot is what TDR is selling at. It can go higher with 2034 now coming in as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. The next question is a follow-up from the line of Suprakash Kundu, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Kundu.
Sorry, sir. Actually, sir, income tax issue, any update?
We have received 2 IT-80 orders in our favor, which has kind of, given us some respite. We have applied for another 2 years appeal in IT-80. As of today, there is no pressure from the income tax department. Hopefully, with the IT-80 orders in place, we should not have any problems on the income tax front.
Sir, how much money frees in income tax department account?
How much is with the income tax department?
Bank account freeze, how much money?
We had deposited close to about 125 odd crores with the income tax department. Because of the IT-80 orders on certain years, the refund has become due. However, because of liability in the subsequent years, that amount has still been held back. We have appealed in the IT-80 again, and on successful, closure of those issues, the company may be entitled to a refund on the income tax.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is a follow-up from the line of Nitin Ranjit from Capstocks. Please go ahead.
So you had just said that the inventory of the TDR inventory as of today stands at 1.5 million square feet. So last quarter you had said that it was at 2 million. Does that mean that we have sold 500,000 square feet of TDR for the last 1 quarter?
The company also utilizes its own TDR for its own projects as well. So certain inventory can be utilized to complete our own projects.
Okay, so one more question. I just went through your results and found that the changes in work in progress for the year stands at 499 crore rupees. So, does that mean construction activities is going on? Or does that mean that the entire 490 crore rupees happens to be the interest accumulated?
It is partly interest accumulation which has happened, and construction activity in some of the projects is continuing, like rehab projects wherever we are constructing, construction is going on.
Okay, sir. And, sir, whom should I contact for details regarding your land bank? Because I did go through your previous presentations and couldn't find much information.
Right. What you can do is write us an email to Mr. Manoj Gupta. He is manoj.gupta@hdil.in, and he will reply back to your earlier queries.
Okay, thanks, sir. That will be all.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to the management for their closing comments. Over to you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope I've answered all the questions. If you have any other questions, you can email Manoj Gupta at manoj.gupta@hdil.in, and we will make sure that we reply back. Thank you.